promotions, buying houses, or someone younger starting a business and gaining recognition, and the thought arises, I'm too late. But here's a shift in perspective worth considering. You are not late. Time is relative, not a deadline. Many of us have been taught to treat life like a checklist. Graduate by a set age, secure work soon after, marry by another, achieve success by a specific number, and if those steps are missed, we believe we've failed or fallen behind. The reality is those timelines are constructed. They are cultural expectations, not universal rules. Your path belongs only to you and is not meant to duplicate anyone else's. Progress, achievement, and personal growth do not come with an expiration date. The belief that life must start or finish by a certain age is unfounded. There is no missed chance. What truly exists is your life and the choices you make from this point forward. Ask yourself, who decided what late means? Who set the standards you compare yourself against? Often it isn't you. It's shaped by culture, family, media, or an imagined picture of how life was supposed to unfold. Yet those external voices hold no authority over what you can accomplish. Success is not determined by time but by persistence. When you learned to walk as a child, no one said it's too late. Growth was understood as a process, and effort was encouraged. Somewhere along the way, however, we stopped appreciating the process and began criticizing ourselves for not achieving quickly. The real issue is not time itself, but the meaning we attach to it. Every day, people around the world begin again. They switch careers, leave relationships, start businesses, learn new skills, or write books. None of these journeys are too late because the term simply does not apply. Time only feels like an obstacle when you stand still. If you think I've already wasted too much time, consider that the time may have been preparation. You were building experience, collecting lessons, and strengthening resilience, all of which shape the next stage. You are not starting from nothing, but from knowledge. That is not lateness, it is readiness. This connects to the principle of neuroplasticity. Neuroplasticity shows that the brain can grow and adapt at any age. You are designed for reinvention. Both your mind and body are capable of learning, adjusting, and beginning again. This fact alone challenges the idea that it can ever be too late. Even biology disagrees with that belief. What truly matters is not the clock, your age, or how far ahead others seem. It's the decision to move forward now, trusting that your best days are ahead. You still have ideas, goals, and contributions to bring into the world, and the right time to begin will always be the present. The next time you think it's too late, pause and ask, according to whom? Unless that answer truly comes from your own decision that you are done, it isn't valid. It's just background noise. Your task is to block out that noise and move forward anyway. You are not late. You are exactly on time for your own path, growth, and moment. This could be the beginning of everything you've been waiting for, but it starts only when you take the first step. Comparison is one of the most damaging habits we form, and it often works silent. You may feel fine, then open your phone, see someone else's highlight reel, and suddenly question your goals, timing, and worth. That is how quickly comparison drains motivation. For many, it is the main reason they never begin something new or pursue a dream. The modern world makes comparison effortless. Social media turns life into a scoreboard. You see someone younger buying a home and feel behind. You notice someone your age running a successful business and start doubting your own work. You see an image of a perfect life and assume you missed your chance. But comparison is not reality. It is a distortion. You're measuring your unfiltered daily life against someone else's carefully chosen moment. That is neither fair nor accurate. More importantly, comparison doesn't move you forward. It holds you back. It feeds self-doubt instead of progress. If you believe you must match another person's pace or results before starting, you may never begin. That is the falsehood at the core of comparison. It is powerful because it shifts your focus away from what you can influence and locks it onto what you never could, someone else's path. Imagine being in a race but spending all your time watching the runner in the next lane. You'd stumble, lose momentum, and veer off track. That's what comparison does. It distracts you from your own progress. The truth is, the only race that matters is the one you run with yourself. No one else lives on your timeline. No one else has your experiences, your perspective, or your purpose. Comparison also makes you overlook how far you've already come. It replaces your progress with someone else's milestones. But success is not one size fits all. Just because another person reached a goal earlier or followed a different route does not mean you are wrong. It simply means they are on their own journey. Stop looking sideways and start looking inward. There is a saying, don't compare your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 20. It is not just a phrase, it is a change in mindset. You cannot know the struggles behind someone else's success, the long nights, the rejections, the debt, the setbacks. What you see is a single polished moment that says nothing about your worth or potential. You are not behind and you are not less. You are simply at a different point in your own story. Every person you look up to once stood where you are now, wondering if it was too late, doubting their abilities and comparing themselves to those ahead. The difference is they kept moving forward. They stayed focused on their own lane. If you truly want progress, stop measuring yourself against others. Your strength lies in focus. Growth depends on shutting out the noise and listening to your own voice. The one that says, this matters to me, I'm not giving up, I'll begin even if I'm the last to start. There is no prize for being first. The reward comes from being true to your own journey. When you stop comparing, you regain power. You stop chasing timelines that don't belong to you and instead create something meaningful, lasting, and personal. So the next time you catch yourself scrolling, doubting, or judging, pause, take a breath and remind yourself, I'm not them, I'm me, and that is enough. Then return to your path and take the next step, because forward is forward, and your lane is waiting. One of the most important truths to remember is that your brain is not fixed, and science confirms it. The belief that you are too old to start, too set in your ways to change, or too far behind to return is not only wrong, it's outdated. Neuroscience shows something remarkable. The brain is constantly changing. It is built to learn, adapt, and grow at any stage of life. This ability, called neuroplasticity, proves it is never too late. For years, people believed the brain was fixed by adulthood, habits permanent, personality unchangeable, growth limited. We now know this is false. Your brain is like clay, flexible, responsive, and ready to be reshaped through new experiences, skills, and beliefs. Each time you learn something new, take a risk, or break an old habit, you are not just changing behavior, you are reshaping the brain itself. For instance, if you've long believed you are bad with money, not creative, or unable to stick to goals, that belief is only a repeated pathway. Your brain has traveled that path so often it feels automatic. The moment you challenge it, by reading about finances, practicing creativity, or setting and keeping a small goal, you begin forming new pathways. The more you use them, the stronger they become until they replace the old one. You have changed not only your actions but your identity. This is why it is never too late to begin. Your brain is designed to grow. The same brain that learned to tie shoes, drive a car, or adapt to new technology can also learn to build a business, write a book, master a language, or heal from the past. Age does not stop this process, only inaction does. Like muscles in the body, the brain strengthens with use and weakens when neglected. The more you challenge your brain, the more it adapts. This process also applies to your emotional life. If you've dealt with anxiety, self-doubt, or fear of failure, those feelings are real, but they are linked to thought patterns that can be changed. You can train your mind to respond differently, recognize unhelpful thoughts, replace them with stronger ones, and build resilience, taking action even when fear is present. This isn't vague encouragement, it is supported by science. Even better, you don't need dramatic changes to begin. Small, steady actions are enough to start the rewiring process. Over time, they reshape how you think and how you live. Something as simple as journaling for 5 minutes, walking for 10, reading a single page, or making one phone call can begin shifting how you feel. Every small step toward growth strengthens belief in yourself, and belief is essential. When you believe you are capable, even in a small way, you act differently, and those actions create new results. So if you catch yourself thinking you are too late, too old, or too far behind, that is only a thought, and thoughts are not facts. You cannot change the past, but you can decide what happens next. Your next step does not need to be large, it only needs to be authentic and yours. This moment is your chance, not tomorrow, not when you're ready, but now. You are one decision away from momentum, growth, and renewed confidence. The important part is this, that decision belongs only to you. No one else can stop you or make it for you. Choose and move forward, because the life you want, the one you think you're late for, hasn't disappeared. It is still waiting. Regret is one of the heaviest emotions we carry. It lingers in the background, reminding you of what you didn't do, what you missed, or what you feel should have begun earlier. It's easy to let regret convince you that since you didn't start then, you shouldn't start now. But that is the mistake most people make. Regret isn't a reason to stop, it's a signal that something still matters to you. It shows the idea, dream or goal is still alive. And if it's alive, it's not too late. Many allow regret to become a wall, evidence they've already failed. But regret doesn't need to be a wall. It can be a window into what you care about most, a window into the version of yourself that still wants to rise. You regret what you didn't do because a part of you still wants to do it. That spark isn't something to hide or dismiss, it's something to follow. We're often taught to bury regret, to keep it hidden or pretend it doesn't exist. But regret only has power when it stays unspoken. When you bring it into the open, it can become fear. Yes, maybe you didn't start that project years ago. Yes, you may have walked away from an opportunity or stayed silent when you wanted to speak. But the fact that it still matters to you means you still have a choice. Either let regret hold you back, or use it to lift you higher. Every person who has achieved something meaningful has felt regret. No one receives every opportunity at the perfect time. The difference between those who grow and those who remain stuck lies in how they respond. Some allow regret to define them, while others use it to drive. So how do you turn regret into fuel? Start by changing the story you tell yourself. Instead of saying I missed my chance, say I've learned from the past, and now I understand why this matters to me. That shift changes everything. Regret then becomes a teacher, not a punishment. It turns into insight, clarity, and the emotional push that gets you moving again. Regret carries strong energy. It can stay with you for years. That energy can remain locked inside, slowly wearing you down, or it can be redirected into action. Use it to write the first page, take the walk, apply for the job, start the conversation, or say yes, even when fear tells you no. That is how you take back power from regret. You move forward with it still present. Often regret is paired with the fear that it's too late, that you missed your moment, or that others are too far ahead. But fear is often just your brain's way of trying to protect you from failure. The truth is, choosing not to act because of regret is the only guaranteed failure. When you do nothing, nothing changes. When you act, you bring possibility back into your life. One of the most freeing realizations is this: you are allowed to begin again as many times as needed. Regret does not erase your future, it shapes it, adds meaning to it, and deepens it. Many of the most impactful ideas, careers, and achievements came from people who grew tired of regret and chose to act. So if you feel that weight in your chest, wondering if you've missed your chance, remember, you haven't. You feel regret because the dream is still alive inside you. That is not failure. It is your inner wisdom reminding you the time is now, not yesterday, now. You cannot change the past, but you can make peace with it by using it. Let regret be the reason you move, not the reason you stay stuck. Let it sharpen your focus, deepen your purpose, and push you toward one small, brave step. The moment you act, regret turns from a burden into momentum. The dream hasn't ended. It is waiting for you to choose it again, and you can do that right now. You do not need everything figured out to begin. Waiting for the perfect plan is one of the quickest ways to remain stuck. We live in a world that celebrates perfection, polished outcomes, and highlight reels, rarely showing the messy middle. This creates the illusion that you must know exactly what to do before you are allowed to start. The truth is, clarity comes from movement, not from standing still. Turning regret into motivation begins with changing the story you tell yourself. Instead of saying I missed my chance, say I've learned from the past, and now I see why this matters. That shift changes everything. Regret then becomes a teacher rather than a punishment. It offers clarity, insight, and the emotional drive to move forward. Regret carries powerful energy. It can stay with you for years. That energy can remain trapped inside, wearing you down, or it can be redirected into action. Use it to take the first step, write a page, go for the walk, apply for the job, start the conversation, or say yes, even when fear tells you no. This is how you take back power from regret, by moving forward with it alongside you. Fear often comes with regret, the fear that it's too late, that the moment has passed, or that others are too far ahead. But fear is often just the brain's way of trying to protect you from failure. The truth is, avoiding action because of regret guarantees nothing changes. Taking action, however, brings possibility back into your life. One of the most freeing realizations is that you can start again as many times as needed. Regret does not erase your future, it shapes it, adding depth and meaning. Many significant ideas, careers, and achievements came from people who grew tired of regret and chose to act. If you feel the heavy pull of missed chances, recognize this: you haven't lost your opportunity. Regret often signals that your goal is still alive within you. That is not failure. It is a reminder to act now. You cannot change the past, but you can make peace with it by using it. Let regret be the reason you move, not the reason you remain stuck. Allow it to sharpen your focus, deepen your purpose, and guide your next step. The moment you act, regret shifts from a burden into momentum. The dream hasn't ended. It's waiting for you to choose it again. You don't need every detail in place before beginning. Waiting for perfect conditions is one of the quickest ways to stay stuck. We live in a world that celebrates perfection and polished results, rarely showing the difficult process behind them. This can make people believe they must have complete clarity before starting. The truth is, clarity comes through movement, not stillness. Many let uncertainty stop them, thinking, I don't have the full plan, or what if I fail? But this leads to analysis paralysis, revisiting the same ideas for months or even years. What's often missed is that most answers appear only after you take the first step. You learn by doing. Confidence grows from trying, adjusting, and continuing. Progress works this way. Those who achieved meaningful things didn't begin with everything figured out. They had a vision, but the details came through action, step by step. It's fine if the path feels unclear. What matters is trusting yourself enough to begin, even without all the answers. That's not weakness, it is courage and leadership. Beginning without having all the answers creates space to grow and adapt. It allows flexibility, which opens the door to better choices and new direction. None of this happens without the first step. Not starting is already a kind of failure. It is choosing to remain where you are. Even mistakes move you forward by teaching lessons worth more than any perfect plan on paper. Those who create, achieve, or overcome share one thing in common. They began before they were fully ready. What sets action takers apart is not certainty or perfection, but the decision to move despite uncertainty. You can always adjust as you go. Nothing is permanent. You don't need to see the entire path, only the first few steps. Once you begin, the rest starts to unfold. People, ideas, resources, and opportunities often appear after you start. If you've been holding on to an idea while waiting for the right time, this is it. Start messy, start unsure, start small, but start. The clarity you want will come from moving forward. It is waiting on the other side of action. You don't need everything figured out in advance. You only need the courage to begin, and when you do, you discover something important. You were never meant to know all the answers at the start. They reveal themselves along the way. You don't need permission to begin. Many delay progress because they wait for approval. They wait for someone to say they are ready, for the perfect opportunity, or for others to believe in them before they believe in themselves. The truth is, you don't need anyone else's agreement to take the first step. The only permission that matters is your own. If you've been holding back because you are waiting for someone to tell you it's acceptable, this is your sign to stop waiting. No one owes you an invitation. You have the right to choose your direction, to decide your goals matter, and to act whether or not others support you. This is not easy, because from an early age most are taught to seek approval. We are encouraged to follow rules, earn recognition from authority, and meet set expectations. While that may have its place, it becomes limiting when applied to personal goals and potential. Only you can decide what is right for you. You hold the power to make choices that align with your values and ambitions. If you don't claim that power, you give it to someone else, someone who may never understand your vision or capability. By waiting for others to approve, you let their limits shape your possibilities. No one will appear with a flawless plan or a step-by-step guide from your current position to your destination. Life doesn't work that way. It requires independence, decision-making, and belief in your ability to handle uncertainty. The only permission you need is the decision to start, even without full clarity. If you wait for the perfect signal, you may wait forever. Look at the people who made an impact. Those who built something from nothing. They didn't wait for someone to say, now is the time. They didn't wait for approval to follow their vision or challenge limits. They moved forward with the belief that what they carried was worth sharing. They didn't allow doubts, others or their own, to stop them. You have that same ability. It doesn't matter if this is your first attempt, if others doubt your idea, or if past efforts failed. What matters is giving yourself permission to begin. That single choice can launch a journey of growth, achievement, and self-discovery. As you move forward, confidence builds. The first step is the hardest, but every action afterward makes the next one easier. You'll learn, adjust, and grow in ways you can't yet see. Along the way, encouragement may come from others, but that is secondary. What truly carries you is belief in yourself. It's not only about starting, it's about continuing without waiting for perfection or outside approval. Often the only person who must believe in your goal is you. Trusting yourself enough to take the first step shows the world how to treat you. It sends a clear message: I believe in myself, and that's enough. If you've been waiting for a sign, this is it. This is your green light. You don't need perfect timing or anyone's approval. You need trust in yourself, and the certainty that your time, energy, and commitment are worth it. When you act from that belief, the world responds in ways that create new possibilities. That's not luck, it's self-belief in motion. Stop waiting. Stop asking for permission. Your goals and future begin with one choice: deciding to believe.